if they can help you, they're going to try to trip you so you can land face first in your cake. They don't want to see you win at no cost, not because you did something wrong, but because they think if you win, that means they lose. That means they ain't really on your team.
True.
My whole team is shooter. If one shoot, we all going to shoot. So I got to keep them all separated in different places. Can't none of them be two together at any given time unless something gets shot up. Because we don't play about each other. So to maintain the peace, you separate the pieces. Everybody know their position. All they got to do is be themselves, and they're going to be playing their part. Then when it's time to square up, ring that bell. It's meal time.
Couple more. What does or do the Jesuits have to do with all this?
The Jesuits is part of all of the secret societies infighting for dominance and supremacy and control over the information that control the spiritual development of the masses of the people. The Jesuits were actually rebels of Catholics in the Catholic Church, trying to overthrow the Catholic Church from the inside so that they can give everything back to Isis, the Great Mother. So that's why you got 3 different popes, because you got 3 different denominations or 3 different jurisdictions playing out. And the Pope is the highest imam on the land. And the Pope is the highest rabbi. How can that be? Because he's the highest Christian too. Then next they announced the death of the Pope. The death of the Pope means the death of the Catholic Church, because they already said he was the last Pope.
This one looks like he's on his last leg.
They just gave the report. He on his last leg.
Oh, so I said it looked like what's the pictures I saw.
But really, that's just the cover story, because the Pope was an android. Pope Francis, they've been taking him apart, put him in the box and slide him under the bed at night. They only bring him out when they need him to be seen. Because the pedophile they used to that they use as that image, he been electrocuted.
Okay, we're gonna get off of him. Okay, all right. Here's it. Okay, so he says, what's up with the white people walking down the street with Germany flags, I guess German flags in Ohio?
That's controlled opposition. It's an antagonist method. They was put there by the police. It's not even a secret. Not only were they put there by the police pretended not to know why he was taking them there. And not only did they pick the spot, they picked the spot where the school would be, would make the parents most offensive. It's controlled opposition.
Wow. Okay. Here's one other. Okay. Can he ask Big Chief High Priest Rod Hayes will hit us with a class? Well, can't do class, not with this time. On mitochondria and how it affects the sons. I think he'll knock it out the park. We'll come back and do that.
I've done a couple of them already.
Oh, you have? Okay.
I done quite a few. I did some on Young Elder channel, and I got some on my Instagram and my Facebook.
Okay.
I got quite a few of them where I deal with that.
Okay, what are your thoughts on Barron, on the Barron, Trump's youngest son?
That's my boy. That's my boy. He's learning to do a couple of things. He's learning the code flip because he's really good at it. Because he told us to listen, but we ain't even here when he dropped the statement. It was coming. It was coming. Then he dropped a statement about the corruption of the corporation and draining of the deep state. But most of us missed it because when he told us to listen at the inauguration, we wasn't really paying attention. He's a good student. He's a student of he's an intelligent student. Like military intelligence. He's getting really good. He's learning character development, how to carry yourself like you know, the most loved prince. Because if you carry yourself like the most loved prince, it's gonna make all the people love you.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't do no dirt and live your life, and they gonna treat you like you gold. It's the nature of the people. So he getting all the lessons. He's really good. I'll pin his award myself.
Well,
give him his Oscar.
well, so I'm gonna. I know this is probably lengthy, but this she didn't put this in here 10 times. Don't do that, y'all. Y'all don't have to put the same thing in here over and over. Please don't do that. That only makes me irritated. I'm just saying it. I'm just gonna be honest. You know, somebody put the same question in over and over, and I'm like, yeah, not answering my, and I might not, but I'm just gonna, let this be the last one. But so how do we get our land back with them on it?
How did they get it from you with you on it? With a stroke of a goddamn pen. And ta-da, it's fixed.
Yeah. Okay.
They told us they stole our land. I keep seeing the land when I look out the window. I don't know what they talking about.
Somebody said this: charge them rent and lease them with arrears.
Treat them like they're on child support.
Right. Something like that. Right. But listen, thank you for, it's 2 hours in. I'm not gonna keep you. I would love to, but we'll save something for the next couple months and then come back on.
Oh yeah. I always have a bar when I come on with you, Dr. G. We click.
I know, and I just love having these conversations. I love it because I really don't have to say a lot, even though I do interject every now and then. But because you could, I just had to turn turn you on. And then once you get started, you on your own. So yeah, so all you 943 plus folks on here, I hope you press like. I didn't say anything, but I hope you did like. I hope you did share. I hope you did, will support us. Folks are asking about Grand Sheik. Grand Sheik is coming along. He is in the healing process. Thank you for asking. Thank you for supporting him. And thank you for your continued support of the house, A Real Awakening Minds, of my guests that, come on here. I want him right back here beside me, but not before he's feeling better, doing well. So in the next, months or so, couple months, you will be seeing me with other guests to, fill up, make sure I'm here on Tuesdays and Fridays, at least try to do at least, one Friday a month, if not the two that we normally do. But he will be back, y'all. So for those of you who care, continue to send that love and light and energy to him, and we appreciate that. Appreciate it to the utmost. And again, Chief, it's like I said, it's always an honor. I'm honored because I can pick up the phone and call you. So but I got, and my I have something that I'm going to send you, but a sister friend of mine who is an author, she sent me the PDF of her brand new book, and she said, Sister Laverne Thomas L. has a brand new book out, and she said, could you make sure that Chief gets a copy of this? And I'm going to
She haven't started printing hardcovers yet.
No, but it's called Big Mama Stargate, and she wants you to it's called Big Mama Stargate, and I'm going to send it to you, and
yeah, I want to check that out.
Yeah, because she said yeah well, it's the book our relationships need. Actually, it says 101 questions you should ask yourself before becoming emotionally, sexually, or financially involved with another. person workbook. It's called Big Mama's Target, but from Big Mama's perspective. So we'll send it to you, get it over to you.
I like to check that out.
Okay. Listen, y'all, thank you so much for being on here with us. And I'm doing better. I'm doing better when people, try to be disruptive and crazy in the chat. Yes, I do need a moderator or two. So I don't even know how that works. You know what I mean? But I would be great if somebody else was in there, like knocking them off the platform instead of being me all the time. But you know what? I don't mind if I have to. I like block parties anyway. But thank you so much for your attention, for your time, for your love, for your feedback, your positive feedback, and even the negative, because it made the rest of y'all have to stand up and say, look, we're not standing for that. So listen, Oak L, if you did not, you must have just logged in if you were asking me right now about an update on Taj. I just gave it. Go back and replay this and get to the end, and then you'll hear me what I just said. I'm not saying it again. Love you. Not saying it again. You must have just logged on. Honestly, did y'all just hear me talk about Grand Sheik?
Yep.
Like not 5 more minutes ago. All right. Love you. I'm getting ready to play the long version out. How about that? Make sure you support our brother, the Chief. Here's his Cash App. Make sure it says Rodney Hayes, because it's some other folks like they did us on us. Other people made fake stuff that was close to House of Real Awakening, even used a picture, and then I ended up losing the Cash App, my Cash App, House of Real Awakening, my Cash App, because people were creating other stuff and defrauding the House of Real Awakening Minds does not have Cash App. So please do not send anything that you think might be us, because it's not, because we don't have it. So we have what you see here, Zelle and PayPal, but we don't have this other stuff. Thank you so much. And again,
about to be chiefing. While I'm chiefing, I actually don't have jack to talk about. I was just watching the Empress on YouTube, and I've been trying to get on here for over an hour. Every time I try to get on, I run into a phone call come in, all kind of stuff. So we're going to let some people come in and drive the direction of the subject matter. But I have been having a ball watching Trump sick his doge on people. Get him. I still got to watch this, video of Elon and his team going through Fort Knox. I haven't seen it yet. Brother sent it to me, and I haven't had a chance to look at it. So, homeboy Oliver. Kyra? Okay, so now, what's going on with y'all? I'm gonna sit back, I'm gonna look, these people been clowning. They butt sore. They butt sore because they auditing the money. You have to know what you have if you're going to know what you can spend. And they just been spending, and nobody's been checking the accounts, verifying the payouts, making sure they going to the right places, to the right people at the right time for the right reasons. They ain't been doing none of that. Now all these politicians is sitting up here acting like little kids. They crying because mama won't get them go get the popsicle. Mama won't let me have a popsicle. Daddy, mama won't let me have a popsicle. I'm trying to get into this account and they freezing me out. So it's good. It's good. It's good. So before we go any further, if anybody want to come in, send me a request. And we can talk about whatever. I don't really got nothing to talk about. I was just saying I haven't had a chance to see the Fort Knox video, but that's gonna be so good when I see it. It's gonna be like drinking cold water on a hot summer day. I'm telling you. Gonna be like drinking cold water on a hot summer day. That's gonna be some relief. What's going on, Renee? Lex, what's up? You know, so they want to cry foul because we, the people, want to know where the money going. About the ones activated. Hold on, let me see what that say. You talking to one? So Jay Scroggins said, "Rod, can you talk to us about the ones activated between 1990 and 2003 by the master teacher's voice?" I can't speak for all of them. I can only speak for me because that time frame you mentioned is when I came in tune with Malachi's teachings, and a lot of people didn't understand back then that we was actually fighting a war using conjure magic information. And that's, you remember back then Pops was putting out first he was putting out the Nubian Islamic Hebrew editions when I met him. So when I came across his information, they were Hebrew Israelites. Then in the early 90s, he shifted and opened the Holy Tabernacle Ministries, moved from New York to Georgia. And I'm watching this, and I'm like, what's this all about? And then he started butchering all of the religions, the degree of Mohammedism, the degree of Christism, the degree of Mosesism, where he addressed all of the 360 questions that he had wrote as an answer. So he had a 360 questions to ask the Orthodox Sunni Muslim. They got mad and wanted to kill him because he was asking questions. And it's like I've been saying since I can remember, before I met Pops, if anything above question is beneath me. And then when I read Pops say the same thing, I said, we on the same frequency. I got to find out who this guy is. And then when I'm watching how they removing leadership out of the community, right? What are they doing? Lying. When they tried everything else, see, you gotta look. They tried to charge Baba with arson because the Sunni Muslims bombed one of his mosques in New York before he left. And they sent a guy named Nusir, who was an Orthodox Sunni Muslim under the Blind Sheikh, to assassinate Malachi, but the Swords of Islam was on guard for it, right? So that didn't work. So now they tried to assassinate him, then they tried to frame him up, and neither one of them worked. Whenever they exhaust every effort to take down one of our leaders, they have to charge them with some shit that the allegation is the evidence, right? People don't know how to read paperwork, especially court documents. They don't understand court procedures. They don't understand this. Look, lawyers have to read a book called, like for instance, Michigan Court Rules, the rules of the court. They got a book that the lawyers study. It's called Rules to Criminal Procedures, How to Address Criminal Cases. I read all that stuff. So when I'm looking at everything and I'm seeing what I'm seeing, I'm knowing it's a fix in the game, but I don't know what it is yet, and I can't speak on it until I know what I'm talking about. When I found out that all of the so-called victims had this genetically traceable strain of herpes, Malachi didn't have herpes before the case. He didn't have herpes in prison. How can he have it long enough to give it to these kids? Because this is how they tie them all together, which is called a fundamental aspect of the case, like a main thread, right? So under that main thread, I'm like, nah, that paperwork ain't matching up, right? You got 30 years of STD testing that no herpes come up. The prosecutor bring in a report saying he got the same genetically traceable strain of herpes as the victims, But he confused. So his doctor telling him, well, when you get where you're going, go get tested. He in prison get tested again, and he still don't got it. He ain't the perpetrator, but there is a perpetrator. Let that sink in. So he's taking the fall for somebody in the community with this same genetically traceable strain of herpes that if they put it under the microscope, they gonna know who did it. I ain't gonna go too much into that. But a lot of the Nubians know what happened. They was there. They seen it. They lay eyes on the dirty players plotting the plot and didn't say nothing. And if you sitting there, my mama say the sealer is as bad as the stealer. You sitting there watching these people orchestrate this plot to come up with a whole false case in order to remove this man so they can have access to his wealth. That's all it's about. It don't got nothing to do with him teaching nobody the wrong information, misinformation, and none of that. They had a whole bunch of people come at him, and ain't none of them been successful in proving his information wrong. As a fact, time goes by, it becomes more and more truthful, the things that he got written in his hundreds and hundreds of scrolls that he write. And so when I'm sitting here, I'm like, wait a minute. All these motherfuckers sit here and watch this man get set up. And now, while he gone, they all got their hand in his pocket. They living off his work. They living off his books. They living off his lectures. And they not sending him shit. They want to raise money for lawyer fare. They want to raise money for bail, but he ain't got no bail. They want to do all these fundraisers, and he never see a dime, and he's nowhere in the position to clean his house up, and that was the whole purpose. So you got 30 years or 20 years of people using this man's name to live their life high on the hog while he's sitting in this motherfucking cage. Godfather buried alive. Shout out to Shine Barrows. Just Godfather buried alive. You can't say it no better than that. It's a little different with the government involvement in the downfall of Larry Hoover and Angel Bay and Big Tookie. That's a whole nother animal. It's when the people you love and trust the most turn on you that you become the most disgruntled. And if he got any wickedness in him, it wouldn't be no witnesses breathing. It wouldn't be no witnesses. All of the ones that made that stuff up, they wouldn't be breathing if he was about the wrong thing. He would have been wiped them out. He could have stopped. He could have had the people prepared to stop the feds from arresting him. He had the army to do it, and he told them to stand down. He said, this is a spiritual war. It's bigger than y'all can see right now, and I can't explain it to you in terms you can understand. Right? Look, if you want to see a farce, they got a court TV case with the brother they called H. Rap Brown back in the day, known as Imam Abdul Alamin or Jamil Alamin. He had his own community. They was computer geeks, and they was making all this software that he was selling to Silicon Valley and other places to do different works. Watch that trial and wait for the verdict. You're gonna be shocked that how in the hell did they find this man guilty? How did they do it? Because he was guilty when he came in. In American law, according to what they tell us, you're supposed to be presumption of innocence until proven guilty. But that can't be true. And I'm going to tell you why. It can't be true because if the presumption of innocence was there, you wouldn't have to stay locked up while you fight your case. Right? They come up, yep, Wesley and H. Rap Brown. You got it, Toya. Late, my bad. You got it, though. So, we got leadership that can't be leaders when we need them the most, while we struggling to find our way in the darkness of this BS that they putting in front of us. And they telling us this is the way life supposed to be. It's not supposed to be like this. You remember if Pac said, I know what life's supposed to be like, and it ain't supposed to be like this? This is exactly what I'm telling you. I know what life's supposed to be like. I don't want to live here if the matriarchy not intact. Trying to live on earth under this patriarchal, homosexual, pedophile cult dictatorship masquerading as a democracy, a socialist, a communist, or any of that is misery. I read the chapter of misery in the Circle 7. Starts out weak and insufficient and good, oh man. There is one thing in which you are obstinate and shaketh not, and his name is misery. Y'all love that shit. I don't like it. I'm from a whole nother fabric. I'm not into domestic violence. I don't want to beat on no woman. I want to be cuddled up. I'm a gorilla. I'm a huggy bear. I'm a huggy gorilla. I like to be cuddled up like gorillas be cuddled up, but I ain't with this retarded shit they doing. I'd rather be by myself in my cave, beating on my chest, than deal with the BS where you got to whoop your woman upside the head. That's retarded to me. That's immaturity to me. That's slave doctrine manifesting as the rules of relations. We have so much slave doctrine dominating the culture now. The slave driver, once he's influenced everybody, it's contagion of aberrations as is written in Dianetics. This is how you adopt generational curses from people you ain't even related to. Contagion and aberration. A fucked up idea that somebody take and say, oh, that's a good fucked up idea. I got to use that. And then they use it on somebody. They become victimized by it. The victim imitate the victimizer because the powerless desires power. And because of the powerless desire power, they start to emulate the illusion of power that the dictator is giving them. And I ain't even lit my blunt yet. Ain't nobody sent no request to come chop it up with the chief. Oh. It might be a short one then. Yep, L. Ron Hubbard. Look, they wrote him up as a quack. He told the whole Anunnaki drama in a series of sci-fi writings. They turned one of them into a movie with John Travolta where he was supposed to be playing Inky. But he reacted more like Enlil to me. But that's just their story. You right. They not like us, but we sure as hell act like them. That's what all that inability to communicate come in. They teach you, like, in general conversation, a child can grasp clearly probably about 100 to 300 words. And that's where they stop you at using their generic school, which is initiating you into the rites of hell, or it's just called sin rites. The sin rites trace back to Babylon, to Ninursin, who masqueraded as Tahuti, and now everybody think the dirt that he did, Tahuti did, and because they used them to replace each other. This is the Anunnaki warfare. It's called the beheading of a god. You put a fraud into place, and then you to give them the credit for all the work that the person did, then you let the fraud go about doing fraud. It has not changed. It was the same thing in Greece. When the Romans took over Greece, they called it the Greco-Roman civilization because they didn't never want you to think that Rome won and Greece lost, so they put Greece first in their name, but they owned it. So it don't matter which position Greece hold in the Greco-Roman doctrine, as long as they hold a position. So now the Romans got their foot on the Greeks' neck. The Greeks was being educated by the Gorgon priestesses, who later became known as the Delphi priestesses. So, you know, all this ancient history, they pass it off to us as mythology, and it got so much of the stories scattered about. Average people don't know about The cultures. We translating right now ancient cultures in the modern context as if it's a modern idea, and this is how it's lost in translation. Because all of the stuff that the ancients classified that they telling us now was gloom and doom is not gloom and doom. Right? The solar flare is not gloom and doom. The Schumann spiking and eliminating all of the rogue elements is not gloom and doom. You can't have, oh, Mike Penny in the house, that's my guy. You can't have, right, a change that's gonna last if you holding on to the past that has faded away. The change can't last if you holding on to the past that's fading away. We yesterday over because we burnt that bitch down by living it. Tomorrow ain't got here yet because we building it today. So every time we live today, we building tomorrow, and every time we live today, we killed yesterday. It's just progression, right? They say that the Anunnakis and Sumer was the first ones to create a clock. No, they didn't create the clock. They invented time. We didn't have time. We lived in what was called the SikApe, the forever time. We didn't know nothing about no restrictions of time and lifespans and all that's immortality. Then when we begin to split into different avatars, so it's like 30, 40, 50 of us at the same time on the planet because convergence in timelines, the crossing of frequencies in parallel dimensions, in the infinity loop, we be 50 different people. That's why we can't never grasp all our mind until somebody kill off 49. Go back to Jet Li to 1. All of your aspects of yourself have to die for it all to come into the one. Right? This is how you become the one. And this is in the occult world, it's the shadow work that kills off all of the selves in alternate realities to converge them into this one reality, which makes you your most powerful aspect and version of the self. Hey. Ooh. Come on, Jimmy. You've been, just so you know, I can't see you, but I can hear you loud and clear. The audience probably can see you though.
Oh, this is awesome timing. How you doing, Chief?
Pretty good. How you doing, sweetie?
I'm living. I'm living. I wanted to chime in because a lot of what you just said touched based on what I'm currently going through, as well as things that I didn't know in my life at all. Okay, I've been watching you for some time.